everybody, and welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I will be doing a 2024 election prediction between AOC and Donald Trump. I'm gonna get started by labeling all of the AOC safe states. Washington, Washington. I'm actually gonna say Oregon is safe. I don't see her doing poorly enough in Portland to be able to not carry it safe. Colorado, I actually do think would probably be safe. I don't see her doing poorly enough for the Hispanic and Latino vote, and I don't see her doing poorly enough in the suburbs. They're gonna continue to shift the state to the left, and I just see her doing better with the Hispanic and Latino vote than Biden did. I think it would be narrow. I think it would be on the line, but I do think it would be likely or safe for AOC. Trump safe states. All these states. Nebraska's second is not safe for Trump. I'm gonna go get rid of that. Okay, for AOC's likely states, I'm gonna give her New Mexico, Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Nebraska second. Hold up, my computer's about to die. I'm gonna go pause the recording and go get a try. Okay. Anyway, so in New Mexico, I don't see AOC doing poorly enough with the Hispanic and Latino vote. I think she'll probably do worse with oil workers and probably be closer, but I still see her winning it. Nebraska's second. She's not going to do poorly enough in urban areas, and she's definitely not going to do poorly enough in the suburbs. She's going to do worse, but it'll probably still be like D plus 5. We could see it be like D plus 4.5, though. In Virginia, I think that AOC would be pretty decent for Virginia suburbs, or I guess the DC suburbs. But I think that she would be really, really bad with rural voters, significantly worse than Biden, and Trump would have incredibly high rural turnout. DC, Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, all these states, all of them with the exception of Rhode Island were likely in 2016, and I think that AOC would be probably more similar to Hillary, especially considering the fact that a lot of these states are thought to be shifting to the right, or long term that they are. Oregon, I see AOC doing well enough in Portland to be able to win it by a safe margin. So for Trump's likely states, I'm gonna go give him Texas, Florida, South Carolina, Nebraska, or Maine second, Ohio, Iowa, and Alaska. In Alaska, it was likely in 2020 we're gonna see more and more Native American turnout. It's gonna shift to the left of the state. I do think AOC will probably, or maybe not necessarily in this election cycle, but it's shifting to the left. I think AOC would do worse though with oil workers, but it would still be likely. Texas, she would do really poorly in rural areas. She would significantly underperform Biden in rural areas. Not that Biden was exactly amazing for rural areas. Or I guess more not that Texas's rural areas are gonna vote for a Democrat at any time. But I don't think that she would be very good. I think that overall, on a national level, she would do better with the Hispanic and Latino vote than Biden. I think a lot of these Hispanic and Latino voters that shifted away from Biden could easily stay in the Trump column. She would have, once again, really poor numbers in rural areas, and in the suburbs, I guess she would be good. She's pretty far to the left by America's standards, so she could have trouble in the suburbs. In Florida, she would do so poorly in Miami. She would do absolutely awfully. We could see Miami-Dade County flip and be like R+4. It's really a possibility. I don't see her doing well enough with older white voters either. She would do horrendously with them. She would probably slightly underperform Biden as well in the suburbs. It would be a really bad showing for her in Florida. South Carolina, looking at this, I don't see her doing well enough with the white rural vote to be able to win the state. Not that a Democrat's going to win the state anytime now. I'm trying to think. Maybe Joe Cunningham could do well in the governor's race. Other than that, Jamie Harrison Cunningham against a really bad Republican on the presidential level could maybe. But regardless, I don't see her doing exactly bad with the black vote, but I don't see it being exactly a strong point for her. So I do think it'll still be likely for Trump. Iowa, Ohio, Maine second. She's going to do really bad with the white working class in Ohio and really bad with white rural voters in Maine second in Iowa. And it would be enough for them both to stay likely, easily stay likely. It's not even going to be a question. For AOC's lean states, I'm going to go give her New Hampshire, and that is it. Or, not New Hampshire, Maine. Sorry, not New Hampshire. Where did I pull New Hampshire from? I guess I do usually put New Hampshire in, like, the lean or likely column, but in Maine, I'm like, Hillary lost it, or won it by, like, a lean margin. She'd probably do similar to Hillary. Probably more like D plus 4.6. Probably not, like, a D plus 9 state again, but also not, like, D plus 3, like 2016. I mean, like, we could see it slip down to D, to, like, D plus 3. But, I mean, like, it's gonna be around there. Between, like, D plus 3 and, like, D plus 5. For Trump's lean states, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and that is it. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. I guess let's just start with Wisconsin. She's going to do so bad with the white working class. A lot of these western Wisconsin white working class voters already really like Trump, but are traditional Democratic voters. But especially with someone like AOC, I don't see it being remotely close. I see it being like R plus 4. She would maybe do well in like Milwaukee, but it would not be even close to being enough to do anything. Pennsylvania, she would do horribly in Pittsburgh. I don't see her doing well enough with the working class. I see her doing really poorly as well in rural Pennsylvania. Maybe decent in Philly, but still, it wouldn't be enough. It would probably be like R plus 2. North Carolina, she would do so bad in rural areas, and she wouldn't make up for it with stronger urban performances and suburban performances. And then with the working class in western Wisconsin, Wisconsin. I keep on saying, I guess I do say working class in western Wisconsin as well, but the working class in western North Carolina, I don't see her doing well enough with them to be able to actually win the state. For her tilt states, I'm gonna give her Nevada, Georgia, and Minnesota. With Trump's tilt states, Arizona, Michigan, and New Hampshire. So in I'm gonna go state by state. Nevada, AOC, she would do really bad with the white rural vote, and she would probably lose Washoe County, and probably lose it by like 2%. I think she would probably make up for it by narrow overperformances in Clark County. The suburbs are already really blue, so it won't really matter, but she'll probably slightly underperform in the suburbs. So it'll probably be like D plus 0.7. Arizona, here's the thing about Arizona. It's a traditionally Republican state. If we go look at, I don't have maps pulled up, but if we go look at past results, McCain carried about like 8% in 2008. Romney carried about like 9% in 2016. But then Trump came in and he carried about like 3 or 4% in 2016 and lost it. So he did significantly worse than both McCain and Romney in the state of Arizona. Yes, it's going to shift to the left, but it's a more traditionally Republican state. Trump is by no means a traditional Republican. He is not a establishment McCain-Romney type Republican. But AOC is not like what we've seen is we've seen them voting for moderates over Trumpists. We saw Kelly winning by like 2.4% against Mick Sally, who is like a far right Trumpist. We saw Sinema, who is a neolib, winning by I think like 2.4% as well against Martha McSally once again. And we saw Biden, who is moderate, winning by like 0.3% against Trump, who is obviously going to be Trumpist. He's Trump. So I think that against an actual like far left Democrat, it would not be good for the Democrats at all. She would probably do slightly better with the Hispanic and Latino vote, but Trump would do much better in the suburbs, much better with these very conservative traditionals that voted for Biden and voted for Sinema and voted for Mark Kelly over Trump. So I do think that would still probably be, I think that would be tilt Republican. In Michigan, she would do so poorly with the white working class in a state like Michigan. She would probably do the best out of the 3 Rust Belt states in Michigan. Obviously, or the three competitive Rust Belt flips, you know what I mean. Obviously, if it's a tilt state and the other are lean, yes, it's going to be the most competitive. But I just think it's because of the liberal lean in the state. I think that she would not do. I think she should probably do average with black voters, but she would do really poor with the white working class. New Hampshire, I mean, like, here's the thing. Hillary narrowly won it. She won it by, like, I think, like, a few thousand votes. AOC is definitely further to the left than Hillary. Yes, New Hampshire does not like Trump, and it may have shifted away from Trump and vote for AOC. I think that both are possibilities. I think, like, a lean blue New Hampshire is a possibility, and also a tilt red New Hampshire. It's really hard to tell. But I am going to be generous to Trump, and I'm going to go for New Hampshire. And the state of Georgia, this is really weird, having me have Georgia blue, but here's the thing. Yes, Trump would do much better in the rural areas, and yes, the rural vote would be, or he would do very well with the rural vote. However, I think we'd likely see less rural turnout. We would see AOC. I think AOC is better for black voters than Biden. We would see her do better in Atlanta's suburbs, which are getting a higher and higher black population. I think we would see her do better in Atlanta. And despite massive losses in the rural vote with rural voters, we would likely see more minority turnout. We would also see less rural turnout, which would benefit her and give her probably like a 0.5% margin of victory. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow. I have a few ideas, I have a few, but it's weird. They're all gonna take a while. Just realized a second ago I didn't explain Michigan, or Minnesota, pretty self-explanatory. She's gonna do poorly with the white working class, similar to 2016. Trump's gonna do better with the white working class though, but she will do better in Minneapolis and the suburbs. So yeah, once again, like the video if you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for my video tomorrow. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you all there. Bye.